So many people wonder why they just cannot find a job. So many people wonder why they have jobs but their salary cannot just take care of them at all. They are just working and then the money just going out. And some people wonder why their business just cannot go through at all. In this video, I'll share with you what is sabotaging your future. When I was in university, I always told my friends that, you see, I'm never getting a job. I cannot get a job that cannot pay me at least 350,000 naira back then. I usually tell them that, hey, I'm going to get into business. Then I usually hear things like, oh, businesses are hard. 97% of businesses crash in the first year. Then you have 5%, like 90% of businesses still crash again. So your business is going to crash. You're going to fail multiple times in your business. And then all these things are things that affect your brain. These are things that affect your mind. The kind of things that you accept into your life are those things that affect your life. So many people get to school and they tell themselves that, hey, I cannot get a job. Jobs are for poor people. That jobs will take away your time. Jobs will take away your life. Don't get a job. So people get into the idea that a business will take away your life. A business cannot just work in the first year, second year, third year. So people go to that situation of Nigeria is hard. Nigeria, you cannot make it in Nigeria. You cannot make it without connections. You cannot make it without bribery and corruption and the rest like that. So when you think about your life, think about the mindset that you have, the kind of mindset that you've gotten over the years that is affecting your future. So people don't even think about it. They just think that, okay, it's just the economy that is bad, it's this one that's happening. But it don't matter that what is affecting you is mostly inside than what is outside. You see, we have four planes in life. We have the mental plane, we have the emotional plane, we have the spiritual plane, and we have the physical plane. And the physical plane is the printout of these three planes joined together. What is happening in your mind, what is happening in your mental phase, what is happening in your emotional phase, what is happening in your spiritual phase, are the things that give birth to your physicality, you understand? So you want to ensure that these three things are in the right frame of mind, because if you tell yourself that there are no jobs in Nigeria, you will never get a job. If you tell yourself that nobody is hiring right now, you will never find a job. If you tell yourself that the jobs that are there, they are paying peanuts, it's only peanut jobs you'll be finding. If you tell yourself that Nigeria, the kidnapping rate is too much, you cannot make it without doing Yahoo or fraud, that's just what you'll be doing. If you tell yourself that business is hard and then you cannot make it in business in a country like Nigeria, you need to japa, you will never make it in business, you understand? So you need to really understand, how is it that I can scale through these issues and then become successful in life? How do we get these mindsets that come to us? You see, in your life we have thoughts, we have feelings, we have actions, and these actions are what brings the results in our life. So we have the thoughts, thoughts give birth to feelings, and these feelings give birth to habits, and habits give birth to actions. However, before these thoughts come, like I said, thoughts, like as the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So is the result that comes by what you are thinking in your heart. So how do these thoughts come about? These thoughts come from what we call preconceived programs that have been programmed into us by by verbal conditioning, by emotional conditioning, and by physical things that we see, you understand? And these are the things that really affects the thoughts that we have, because it's like a file of information. The way you think about things depends on the things that you've taken in, depends on the things that you just like a computer. You want computer, you know, garbage in, garbage out. The things you've taken into your life, like things you've seen, things you've heard, things they've told you about. These are the things that will affect the way you treat people. So that's what we see, for example, online. Some people are saying you cannot get a job. Some people are saying relationships do not work. Some people are saying there should be feminists. Some people are saying everybody's talking on TikTok, whether people that know things or people that don't know. Everybody's talking, and all these things are being imputed into your life. So these things are the things that will create your feelings. These are the things that will create the way you behave, and these behaviors are the things that will create about your result. So we talk about emotional, verbal conditioning. These are things that you've heard. You heard other people say this, you heard other people say this, you heard people say this one and this, and then you think that's the reality of life. The brain doesn't even work with logic. The brain is more emotional than logic. So if you have an emotional event and you have a logical event, the brain is going to function with the emotional state. If you think I'm lying, go and try and trade forex or try and do betting, and then you see it real life, or try to invest in stocks market, you see that your emotions work more than logic. You understand what I'm saying? That's why you lose money when you know that this thing may not play out, but you just play. You know that this thing is going to hit your stop loss, and then you just still let it, or you shift your stop loss because of fear. That is emotion that is playing out even more than logic. So what are the things you've heard from when you were much younger? You've heard things like Nigeria hard, or you've heard things from your parents like, oh, there is no money, we cannot afford this. You've heard things like, we are passing through this phase, so there's no food, that things are very expensive, so we cannot just go through, cannot make through. You've heard all those things from your parents. You've seen the way that they handled money. Some of you, your parents have even told you that you cannot make it. Some people, they have told you that you cannot succeed, that you don't know book, you're not intelligent, you are too slow in the way you think, that you don't have sense. They've told you that you just will not make it. All these things are things that your parents have told you before in the past, or even don't know your parents, your stepmom, your stepdad, your grandparents, and things like that. They've told you that, oh, you are unwanted. They've treated you like that. So you've had this feeling in your heart that, okay, my parents, nobody wants me. My parents don't want me. My siblings, they don't love me, and things like that. And these things are the things you've put in your heart. These things will affect the way you behave. Do you understand what I'm saying? These things will affect the way that you behave in the outside society, and they always affect the results that you get back, because when you implement in society to give you back those results, when you see that, okay, debt is bad, meanwhile somebody, that's what the rich use, you say debt is bad, you cannot make it with debt. When you get debt, you're trying to lose it. When you say things just did very cost for Nigeria, you cannot just come through. You make money, you still have to spend it because things are expensive. You understand what I'm saying? These things are emotional, subconscious ways of reasoning. And truth of the matter is that I'm not a therapist or a psychologist, but these are the things I've observed. And then it's very important for you to sit down and then think about all these things. And some things are incidents. Maybe while you were in school, you were bullied, so you are reacting out of fear, or you just want to prove a point. Very important. If you're trying to be successful, as you just graduated, maybe you're trying to prove a point that you're more intelligent, you're trying to prove a point that you know book, you're trying to prove a point that you're not as foolish as people thought you are, you're trying to prove a point that you too you're a big boy. You understand? You're trying to prove a point that you also can get the attention. You understand? Maybe you didn't get attention when you were younger. You're trying to prove this point that no, you can get this attention now, that nobody can just come and then leave you, or things like that. So the truth of the matter is that you have to really think about all these things. What are the thoughts? What are the preconceived notions that you have, especially now that you've graduated from school and then you're trying to start life, or you've started life already? What are the preconceived notions that you have about your life? What are the things that people have spoken to you that are not true? You understand? Because these things are the things. That's why the Bible even says, guard your heart with all diligence. Because when people talk to you, those things affect the way, like you said, so you understand. So you have to guard your heart. When somebody says something to you that is not good, I think I learned this from Madam Ibuko Awosika. Like, when somebody tells her something that maybe you are stupid, she counters a person, her voice must be the last on the table that no, I'm not stupid, and they correct that person. You understand? So you must not accept anything that is, that is going to affect your heart, it's going to affect your behaviors later on. So be careful of kind of thoughts that you have in your life. Now, another thing is, how do you change the thoughts that you already have in your life? How do you change the programs that have been programmed in your life? I listened to Bruce Lipton, and he talks about the fact that he talks about the fact that most of the time people think that it's about the situations of things that are happening, but he proved the point that it's more about the environment that you are. What are the thoughts that are coming into your life from this environment? What are the things you are allowing? What are the things that are coming into your perception? What are the things you are perceiving and allowing into your life? These things will affect you. So how do you change these thoughts? How do you change these thoughts that you're having? You have to change the files of information that you have in your life. You have to sit down. First of all, number one thing you have to do is, you have to sit down and say, okay, these are the thoughts that I have. These are the things that I have that are not true, that are affecting my life. Number one, you may have things like Nigeria is a scam, school is a scam, that's going to affect you. You may have things like, oh, I cannot make it, that's what my mom told me. You may have things like, I'm very ugly, nobody's going to marry me. You may have things like, I'm too fat, nobody's going to love me. You may have things like, I'm just wayward, so I cannot be that cannot live a good life. You may have things like jobs are like it's like slavery. Those are things that will affect you. You may have things like in business, you cannot just make it if you don't do bribery and corruption. Those things will affect. What are the things that you have? You may have things like Nigeria is not for you. You just have to just japa, and then some people sell their properties and then japa to abroad to go and do care jobs because they just believe that Nigeria you cannot make it. So even the properties that they have in Nigeria, they will sell it and go abroad and go and start suffering and go and be stranded in the UK or in the US or whatever country that they go to. So you need to have a list of these things that you have, whether in your financial life, in your academic life, in your social life, in your relationship, in your marital life. List out all these things that you have. Some people have the idea that men should not control you, so don't allow your man to control you, don't submit. You understand? So these thoughts that you have, just list them out, and then you ask yourself, are these thoughts true? Try to be objective. If possible, do it with somebody. Are these thoughts true? Somebody that has sense. Are these thoughts true? Are they effective? Are they the right thoughts to have? And then when you're done with that, then you have to now find out the better thoughts that you should have to be able to fulfill your life. Number one, you find out, is there anybody who has been successful from that thing they are saying? That's why I try to be objective. If you say Nigeria, you cannot be successful in Nigeria. Is there anybody who has been successful in Nigeria? Try to look for somebody who has come from your situation and has been successful. If you find one person from like that means what you said is wrong. That means you need to bring out another thing that you can be successful in Nigeria. You understand what I'm saying? Is there anybody who can make it first class? Some people say first class doesn't mean anything. Are you sure? Check it. Does it mean something? When you check it, you see that it's true that it means something. You change what you have, like preconceived notion, and then you start reaffirming and then reassociating yourself with these thoughts, that these are the true thoughts, because the Bible says the truth sets you free. You understand? So you want to have the true thoughts. You want to know the truth. You want to know the true thoughts, not the false thoughts. Because the false thoughts are going to take you to places you don't want to be in and to do things you don't want to do. So you understand, when you start having these good thoughts, that I can have a good relationship, I can enjoy my marriage. Some people don't believe that marriage. Some people say marriage is a scam. Always give you and those people like that. Marriage is a scam. When you have that kind of thinking, it's going to affect you. That when you marry, you don't have peace of mind, you don't have this, that a lady can never stay with you. Those things are all crap. You understand? Depends on the individual. Am I saying some of these things don't work? It works, but it depends on the individual. Your own can be an exception. You understand? So you just have to figure out the true thoughts that are there, and then try to figure out how you can reassociate yourself with this kind of thinking. You should remember that sometimes the economy may not be good, but you remember that is there somebody making it there? There's somebody making it there sharp. You may say you want to jump abroad. Is there corruption abroad? Of course there is. Are there people making it there? Yes. Are there people making it here? Good. Are there people making it in jobs? Yes, of course. There are people who are paid, they are being paid. They will say jobs are just peanuts, they pay you peanuts, you can never be rich with a job. Are you kidding me? There are so many people who have been rich with jobs. These are the kind of thinkings that I had before, and I'm still trying my best to reassociate myself, to rewash my brain so that I can always think the right way. You understand? So we all want to be successful, but there are some things that are just sabotaging our future, and you want to always dissociate yourself with every negative thoughts and then associate yourself with positive thoughts that will push you towards your goal. This is not about motivation. This is not about affirmation. This is about finding the true thoughts that are really true, and then removing every false thoughts in your life that is sabotaging your future. If you found value from this video, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like this video, and then share the video with as many people as possible, and then comment any negative thoughts that you think that you have, and then talk about the positive thought that you got in from that thought, and then I'll see you in the next video.